had a delay in there, and I didn't want the 90-second delay. I wanted to be able to respond to chat in pseudo real time,
Yeah.
just to make it a little bit more interactive, as that would be a little dull. Yeah, so this is episode 6 of Hyperfixation. We've gone on for 6 weeks in a row here. Haven't missed one yet. Very shocking considering we're uni students and we're all very
Yeah.
inconsistent.
And how kind of slapdash this whole thing was.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that's good. It's fun. This
Yeah.
week, we are talking science, and we're still all hyped up on the new Pokemon game coming out. So we're talking about Pokemon science specifically, the physics of Pokemon, and biology, and chemistry, and science in general. Uh, Maybe even some astrology in there.
Mhm.
Or
We're
astronomy.
looking into a bunch of little tiny text blurbs that some underpaid employee had to write, and we're going to treat them as though they are the word of God.
Exactly. And then watch the world break because of said word of God.
Exactly.
It'll be a good time. We're excited.
Yeah.
What else is important? I guess we'll do the brief introduction. Hi, I'm Gavin.
Yeah.
I am a third-year computer science student.
And I'm Branden. I'm a TESOL student.
Yo, I'm Tyler. I'm a second-year geography student.
So Tyler's going to tell us if any of this stuff breaks, like, how Earth tectonics work, right?
Yeah, you know me. Just geography is definitely that sort of study, man. Oh God, I'm gonna kill you guys after this. I swear to God.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to discuss Pokemon. We're going to overanalyze it. We're going to act like they definitely meant this to be taken literal. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. I did notice one thing that I need to do here, which is fine. It's just that I realized that I was a little silly with this. Just give me half a second. Beautiful. I can do that. Awesome.
You got it. Whatever it is, all worked out.
So I'm streaming our footage, our cams from Discord.
Right.
And with me streaming our cams from Discord, it means I cannot access said Discord without changing the section of footage there. So I had to open up Discord in Chrome. But it's okay. I got it. I'll figure it out. So whose do we want to start with first? I feel like, do you want to start with Macargo? It's the obvious one. We all sort of looked at it, all chuckled.
Yeah, everyone knows about Macargo, and it's madness.
We're gonna start
low-hanging fruit here.
We're gonna start strong here with Macargo here. Let's do that. So like we said, low-hanging fruit, but you know, who doesn't like fruit? So Macargo, the reason we put Macargo on this list, if you guys want to point it out really quickly here.
Yeah, it's Pokedex entry, and when the first time it was ever mentioned was in Sapphires. So, and it's as recently as Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl has kept this, that apparently its body temperature is roughly 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Or 10,000 degrees Celsius.
So just to put that into perspective, the surface of the sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which basically means that Magcargo is hotter than like the literal center of the universe.
Which means that there is absolutely no reason that this thing should be able to just walk upon the Earth.
Yeah, like when you think about it, it would probably, fucking overload the Earth, right? Like I don't think it could exist on the planet. I think it would just have to be like its own fucking star, basically.
Yeah, like the only thing that could like potentially, like, I imagine arguments are like, oh, that's its inner body temperature, like the temperature is contained within its body, and I'm just like, okay, but the only way to have tested that is to have been able to like put something in order to figure out that temperature, which means that that temperature could still have escaped, which would still mean insta death for anything around it.
I just want to see this right here. Love that. It's not Macargo, but Flannery is straight up just touching these fire.
Yeah,
magmas.
Right. Even as just a slug, like its base form, there's no way.
I just want you to imagine the amount of heat radiating in this image here, where there's like 30 Macargos, and Ash, Misty, and Brock are literally in a valley below them.
Yeah, what's
I'm sharing the screen now. You can see it there.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at Slugma's specifically. Slugma's doesn't really specifically talk about its body being lava. It says it's got crazy hot magma in its blood, as blood.
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah, it's still pretty hot, but
Yeah.
not anywhere near its older.
Oh, there you go. How
versions.
about that one? Does that do it for you?
Oh no, no, kid, please.
yeah.
The kid's dead.
So yeah, like the actual thing must be like they're trying to say like it's inner body temperature, and somehow that doesn't translate out to the rest of it.
Okay, but if he's
Somehow-
liquid, and he is, you can see
he's
that he is
liquid, yeah.
liquid. There's no way that
I mean,
the liquid has
he's
that much like thermal insulation.
yeah, but like let's just say like everything about its body is able to contain it. It still apparently breathes. And I know when I breathe and it's cold enough, like I can see my breath because I'm exuding my body's inner temperature. So, at the absolute least, if you ever stood in front of this thing and it breathed on you, you should just melt away.
Crazy, absolutely insane. But Macargo is hotter than the sun, and there are thousands of them wandering the Pokemon world.
Yep.
I'm just imagining like, how cities and how roads have caused the Earth's temperature to increase because of the way it works with absorbing heat.
Mm.
I'm just imagining that Macargo's. The only way I can think about this is like, there is no, like, the sun is further away, and the only reason that this planet functionally works is because Macargo is heating it up to the safe zone.
Oh my god.
That would be ridiculous.
Because
If it ever goes in danger, we're like a frozen
Yeah.
wasteland.
They just caused the Ice Age by hunting Macargos to extinction.
Oh my god. I mean, I was talking about if I think that if Pokemon really did exist, you would have not like just poachers of like Tauros or like something like that. We'd have like actual like Pokemon hunters who are just like, yeah, we need to kill these Pokemon because their existence is a threat.
Okay, so that's Macargo. That was the most obvious one we could think of because damn. The one we'll go to my first one here because this one is a little bit of a lighter tone here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just Hoppip. Because I want to know,
Okay.
like, if you look at Hoppip, how much does it say it weighs? It weighs half a pound, right?
Okay.
The question being, it floats on the air. It doesn't fly.
Right.
Can half a pound float on the air with no... Or, like, how light does your body... No, because it's still half a pound. And you can see the mass here. It's about a foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you, hypothetically, even get that math to work out, where a pound at about this volume floats? Because I know helium floats, but that's because it's super light and you add a ton of it. Like with a Zeppelin, for example, that's a huge weight, but you add a ton of air. How much? Calculate buoyancy. Calculate the buoyant force we use.
500 grams.
Math.
Like 500 grams just floating around is. Well, actually, wait, because 2 pounds is 1 kilo, and 1 kilo is 500 kilograms. So half a pound.
500 grams is like a quarter of a pound, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hold on. Let's see.
It's a foot. So just like if you imagine a ruler, right? Imagine a ruler, an orb the size of a ruler.
Okay. So
it's like a 1 pound basketball.
It'd be about 225 grams.
Sure.
So that's still like a decent weight to like actually float around.
And this thing doesn't like. It's not like it's just casually floating and it's like propelling itself, right? It straight up floats.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, I mean,
which also means like it has like no mobility on its own, which means like how does it like? It's just like it basically just sounds like it's a dandelion seed.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just it's a very heavy dandelion seed, and very large.
Which is just like, okay, one, that is like definitely physically impossible unless it lives in a place with insane wind.
Yeah.
Which also means like it has no control apparently unless it's like on the ground.
Yeah, I mean in the Dex entries it literally talks about how it has it's just blown out of the world. they talk about how it doesn't. Nobody knows where it's from. Where they
Yeah,
originate from.
because yeah, but now this just raises the point, like using a hop-up in a Pokemon battle, unless you're inside somewhere, would be the most like useless slash like risky thing, because you just put your hop-up out and then just a breeze would just send it out of the Pokemon battle.
I love the idea that your opponent just uses like gust, and you just never
just
get your Pokemon back.
die.
It's
Oh
just
no!
Man, just whirlwind and the hop-up is just gone.
rip your Pokemon. You just have to go catch another one. And that's
Yeah,
why and that's why there's so many. It's just so you can replace the ones you've lost.
yeah, no, that makes.
But yeah, no, I thought Hop It was silly, and then I did have a
It's
matching
pretty
one that I thought would also be very funny if we want to talk about like flight possibilities.
Mm.
So Corviknight,
Corviknight. Okay, what's up with that?
in its latest entry, it says that its wings have partly turned to steel. So this bird
Oh my god!
This bird weighs how much? 165 pounds.
That's like as much as that's like
That's me.
almost as much as me. Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ.
This bird weighs 165 pounds and is the height of 7 feet. So it's a little taller than I am. It's
It's
165
a
feet.
big bird.
Yeah, it's human-sized bird. The question is it possible to even with that weight, like with that? I don't think that wingspan would work because like Texacoatl could fly, but that's because its wingspan was how big?
Although, wait, it weighs as much as. Wait, how much does it weigh again?
165 pounds.
165 pounds. Yeah.
165 pounds at 7 feet is pretty light for that size.
That's my size, and I can't fly, and I don't
Wait,
have
dude,
the
you're
health.
not 7 feet tall.
No, but it's pretty close. I'm 6'3".
6 feet is not so.
No, you're right. It is taller than me
Okay,
for sure.
okay,
But
okay.
look at this. This bird is 1.75 meters, which is 3 meters. So it's about 5 meters tall, the actual bird, right? And it weighs 15 kilograms. So how many 15 kilograms to pounds? Is how much? 33 pounds. So this bird is about 2 feet shorter, and it weighs 33 pounds versus 165 pounds. And that is the largest flying bird. That ratio of like height to pound is comedically different. Because like what? 33 divided by, we said this was about 5 feet tall?
Also notable that like even if it's like a bird, you know, the fact of the matter is like birds also just have like very little substance in their bodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they have
you can't
hollow
really
bones, right?
compare, like human weight wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
like a human, like we're kind of inflated by like how many internal organs and shit we have.
Yeah, so if you look at the Corviknight versus the wandering albatross, the weight to height difference is 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wandering albatross is 25% of the weight to height ratio of Corviknight. The fact that this bird is made out of steel and metal and flies somehow is insane.
Well,
Veggies, goddamn.
it's really funny because that really brings up another Pokemon, Skarmory.
Let's take a look.
The Skarmory is basically just that, except its entire body is made of metal.
Yeah, let's see what they say for height. 5 feet, so a little shorter. It actually weighs less as well.
Yeah, only 50 pounds less, though.
Yes, which is significant, though. That's 33% of its weight for only 2 feet of height loss. So it brings it down probably a little bit, but it's still like double, maybe almost triple rather than quadruple the actual feasible amount.
Its reasoning in like is like apparently the wings are hollow and light, so that allows them to fly freely.
Although I will say that the fact that its feathers that it shed, as it flies, are swords, is horrifying. You're just walking out of you know the penny from the skyscraper thing that people talk about, like imagine that.
I've never heard about that. Oh.
No, you've never heard about the thing where it's like if you drop a penny from a skyscraper, you can kill someone.
Oh shit! Really?
Apparently, that's not true though.
I know.
Okay.
I think it was just like an old thing where like
Well, I mean, people are just like, oh, think about like it's falling from like a super high place by the time it hits the ground. But
terminal velocity. It doesn't have enough mass.
They don't understand terminal velocity.
Yeah, I think that was a thing where it's like before Google came out when we were like kids, we
Yeah.
would like be like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna drop this nut on someone and from up here and they'll
Yeah,
die."
yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, to be fair, like
no.
if you don't actually understand that stuff, I mean, I would believe it because it's just like, yeah, you think something would just continuously get faster.
Yeah, the other thing that's funny about Squirmer here that you pointed out there is, or that here is that it
Yeah.
flies at 180 miles per hour.
Yeah, apparently it's stupid fast.
I will say that, like, if you can figure out the physics to make this thing fly, the fact it is made of metal should help the fact that it can fly faster, hypothetically, because it doesn't have to deal with the repercussions of flying at those speeds. Like your skin tearing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, them and Corviknights are rivals.
They got beef. Corviknight has beef with everyone because there's a new Pokemon. I'm not gonna tell you who. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Yeah.
That also has beef with Corviknights. It's just I don't here. I'm
I
gonna
look forward to finding it.
so I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'm gonna tell you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna show you Corviknight's Dex entry for the new game because I feel like that's okay.
Mhm.
Mild spoilers. Corviknight cannot serve its taxi in Paldea because the Pokemon's natural predators will attack it while it flies.
Oh. Dang.
It is canon in universe that Corviknight cannot do its job in Paldea because something out there is after it.
Dang.
Can't catch a break.
It made an enemy. Alright, let's do Raichu here. Let's see what we got here. So,
Oh, Raichu?
Tyler,
Raichu?
paint me a word picture,
Yeah, there
friend.
are actually two parts of Raichu that I want to like go over. The first one is like in a lot of the things you'll find that like
Mhm.
it mentions 100,000 volts. I don't know too much about electricity myself, but that's definitely like an absurd amount, right? Like I don't know how many volts are powering like most.
So a typical lightning flash is about 300 million volts.
Okay, never mind. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Here,
I was wondering.
this is them testing what 100,000 volts of electricity does to ballistic gel. Let's just take a quick peek here. Let's see if we can find testing electricity. Let's see.
Okay,
No!
there seems to be some.
I got an ad. Never mind. I give up.
Yeah, apparently there's some varying things. Like I'm seeing like lightning is known as standard to have a voltage potential of 100 million. But there's also another thing in Quora, which is like a typical lightning bolt contains 1 billion volts. And I'm just like, okay,
Better question.
There's some big differentials between this stuff.
How many volts is lethal? There, let's find that out. 2,700.
Yeah, so
okay, so yeah, well, definitely could kill you in half an
Sorry,
instant.
100,000? 11,000 is considered consistently lethal.
Holy
consistently.
shit. Can kill you 10 times over.
Yeah. So
Jesus criminy.
yeah, no, that's insane. One person has survived 340,000 somehow.
Jesus Christ.
Why the hell?
I don't know. Dude got lucky as hell. I don't know how he did it.
Oh jeez.
It's impressive though.
Do you guys know about that one guy who got struck by lightning like 7 times within his lifetime?
Did he buy a lot?
I've heard about that, and I'm just like, who the hell is dumb enough to let that happen to them so many times?
Apparently, he worked as like a park ranger, and he was just like very stubborn about working his job. So it's like even if he had to get hit by lightning every 5 seconds, like goddamn.
Jesus.
I'm sure there are precautions you can take to make sure you don't get hit by the lightning.
Ground yourself. Carry a lightning rod. That's like always, and rubber gloves.
Yeah.
Alright, what did we want to talk about Kadabra here?
Oh, so Kadabra has some interesting implications. Let's see, which one was that? It was one of the, I think it was one of the like later ones. Okay, yeah. So Legends Arceus. Oh, I think it showed up earlier too. Rumors that a child with mystical powers became a Kadabra. So it remains unverified.
Hold up.
Yeah, I remember. I think it also came up in another Pokemon entry.
Yeah, and Pokemon Sun. A theory exists that this Pokemon was a young boy who couldn't control his psychic powers and ended up transformed into this Pokemon.
Okay,
yeah.
how does that work though? Because you transform into an Abra, right?
Oh no, yeah, no.
Yeah, so weird.
Fire Red just straight up says it happened one morning. A Pokemon with extrasensory powers awoke in bed, transformed into Kadabra.
So does that mean Abra is like a baby Pokemon? Like this kid, like he evolved into an Alakazam, bred, and then that's how Abra came to be? I
Well,
don't
based
Yeah.
on half the fandom, I'm not shocked a human bred with a Pokemon.
Yeah, I was just like, ooh. Just the implications of that is just so insane. And it's like it definitely sounds like there's no way that would actually be the case. But given how wacky the Pokemon world is, I'm also just like, I can't just straight up say like there's no way that that's what happened, because I'm pretty sure Ash turned into a Pokemon at one point.
Probably.
Even in the games, like there's that part where like Bill switches bodies with like the Pokemon.
That's right. That's true.
I like this one
Oh.
here, where it talks
Yeah,
about
which
how he basically is pulling. Oh fuck, what's the show? Limitless. That Kadabras are just going limitless on this.
Yeah.
They use all of their brain power.
All of the brain power. Which
Also,
apparently is
alpha waves are such like they're literally it's just your brain moving, doing its thing. That's all it is.
yeah.
Speaking of Kadabra, if we want to like continue the momentum here,
Sure.
Alakazam
Mhm.
has some of the most questionable ones as well. This entire family tree is just kind of whack. So if you look at Alakazam's, there's one thing that stands out immediately.
The IQ.
Mhm.
Yeah, the IQ.
The
So the highest
IQ.
IQ ever recorded was 238.
Yeah.
What is the highest?
Theoretically, there's no limit to IQ.
The highest possible in the world is theoretically 200. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It all feels very silly.
It's very, very silly. Abras aren't too bad. It just sleeps a lot. It's basically
it's a test. How is it not
like
a
a koala bear.
limit?
Yeah. But yeah, no, the Kadabras or Alakazam's IQ situation is friggin' insane. And this will come up with Slowking later as well.
How do you not run the world at 5,000 IQ? How does this Pokemon not just like literally control all of the Pokemon world?
And there's another questionable one. Go to Ruby's. Just scroll a bit. Yeah. The one where its brain is growing so fast that it actually outweighs its head, and it has to like carry around its head with psychic powers.
That's very silly. I do.
That's like, do brains even work that way? Like, can brains?
They can't outgrow the skull first and foremost. You would actually have like a stroke.
Yeah, there are actual medical problems with that.
It doesn't. Pokemon doesn't have logic that works. Yeah, no, your brain would. If your brain was growing that much, it would crush on the side of your skull and kill you.
Yeah.
And your skull only has so much mobility. It actually is pretty much locked into shape pretty much after your like 3 when your soft spots are done. That's sort of like the shape, and like there's not a lot of give there. I don't know exactly how that works, but there's no way your head keeps growing, especially as this form doesn't come into play until like adulthood by default.
Yeah.
What's Mega Alakazam's stuff here? Let's see what that says.
Are there even Pokedex entries for Mega Evolution?
Yeah, there is.
There are. Oh, okay.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's not
right here, Mega Alakazam. Its power is converted into psychic energy and has lost all strength in its muscles. Oh, great.
Hold up.
They made it a paraplegic. That's kind of messed up.
Oh my god.
That's interesting.
Weird.
I don't like
that.
that.
Can also see the future. And Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah.
It's a prophet.
Also, now that thing on its forehead is an organ.
Yikes.
Its third eye. I mean, eyes are organs, so that makes a level of sense.
Well, fair enough.
I just don't like the fact they called it a red organ. Just
call it an eye, bro. Come
just
on.
call it an eye.
The implications of that is very not great.
When attacks completely miss Alakazam, that's because it's seeing the future. Oh, yeah. So he just sees the future in hindsight. you miss him, he's like, haha, I dodged. It's like, you're standing still. Haha. You can't, like, because it literally can't move. So it must move.
There's a whole attack based on apparently seeing into the future ever so slightly.
Foresight?
Yeah.
Future
Future sight.
Future sight, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's foresight too.
I'm just imagining the fact that, like, there's in DBZ Abridged, there's the Pokemon, there's these aliens who say they can see the future, and whenever something like obvious happens, they're like, I knew you were gonna say that. And I'm just imagining.
To stop you from destroying my planet. We already did that. I knew you used to do that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I just imagine that's Mega Alakazam dodging. You just miss him completely, and he's like, haha, I've dodged thanks to my future sight. And you're like, shut up.
Yeah,
That's it.
so ridiculous.
Okay, let's go to
I don't know if we addressed this already, but yeah, Leo agreed. Yeah, definitely Pokemon's logic, even like at the start was tenuous at best, and now it's just
is
insane.
Bad. Okay, what about Ponyta here? Is it the 10 times harder than Diamonds thing?
Ponyta?
Yeah.
No. Ponyta's is like, if you go and look at it, it's on Stadium's Pokedex section.
Okay.
Oh, it jumps the.
So capable of jumping over the Eiffel Tower in a single giant leap.
I like how that implies that the Eiffel Tower exists in the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
Essentially the Tokyo Tower in Japanese. But yeah, basically like it implies that both of those things are real.
Didn't they rename the Eiffel Tower though in the Pokemon based in France?
Yeah, so it means that like it's not like the Eiffel Tower is in like the France region, but like France and the region based off France, Kalos, are separate entities.
Oh, they just both exist is what it kind of implies. 300 meters.
Not only that, but
So
also
weird.
just the fact that like the Eiffel Tower is huge, and the Tokyo Tower is also really big.
What do you need to do to jump 300 meters?
Let's just say like highest jumping animal. And we'll see how high it can jump.
Yeah,
like
also have insane one.
I like
a cougar can jump 6 meters.
The highest jump is a cougar at 6 meters, correct? Which is insane. Because that's a cougar jumping on your house. Your 2-story house. The cougar is jumping on your house.
Yeah.
And that is
like
mortifying.
For an animal of its size, it's just like, oh boy.
I'm just imagine that you're just like vibing, you're just like running away from this animal, and it just clears. It can jump higher than a kangaroo. Kangaroos? Let's see.
Kangaroos, I don't even think they jump that high. It's just that they jump a lot as well.
Kangaroos are the spoinks of the human world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can jump 8 feet, which is still insane. A kangaroo can jump.
Wait, they can jump 8 feet? Holy shit.
Yeah, they can clear 8 feet, so they can jump up and Spartan kick you in the face.
Oh yeah, no problem.
And then now, obviously, that brings it to the fact that like, how hard does kangaroos kick? Also, 10 times harder than diamonds.
That's pretty fucking hard, yeah. Because diamonds are the hardest material.
They are a 10 out of 10 on most scales of mineral hardness.
Holy shit.
They are the highest scale we have. So, what do you do with that? Also, a diamond is 58 times harder than corundum, which means that this would be 580 times harder than that.
Just insanely so.
Do you think people would use okay, this is gonna be a dark thought. People use diamonds for their hardness to keep blades sharp when they do surgery.
Yeah.
Do you think that in the Pokemon world they harvest Ponyta hoofs to coat their surgery blades?
I mean, they do that.
Oh, no.
They do that with horses for glue. So.
And this is a significantly more valuable resource than glue.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's still the same principle.
Yeah. That's so dark. Like,
oh my god.
I want someone to make a tabletop RPG campaign where you're playing Pokemon, but they just took Pokemon science way too far. So like, and Alakazam is secretly the main villain of the world, and that's the big bad.
I mean, honestly, that would make sense. Like
Yeah.
even above Mewtwo in that.
Yeah, no, because it's got the 5,000 IQ, which means it's playing
Yeah.
everyone like chess. And then you've
Yeah,
got
Got,
like
the 7D chess over here, yeah.
you start off the campaign by helping by freeing some Ponytas from like capture people who are like trying to harvest their hoofs.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, we agreed for like can a cougar beat a kangaroo? I'd say it depends. Like normally I would absolutely say yes, but I do think if a kangaroo got one good kick to the cougar's face, the cougar would probably go down.
I don't know how hard a kangaroo kicks, but I'm sure it's enough.
Kangaroos are jacked, yeah.
Oh yeah, and yes, the
These
Genesect
motherfuckers are
one.
muscular.
200
Yeah, no,
pounds
they're-
per square inch.
Yeah, their kicks are insane. Like, yeah, no, if you got one good kick on you by a kangaroo, you're down, if not dead.
So 20 to 40 can be lethal. A kangaroo is 200.
Yeah, yeah, no, you fucking done, son.
Yeah.
That's 5 times lethal.
I'm never fighting one of those.
Yeah, if a kangaroo gets
Oh,
you good,
yeah.
you're done. Okay, let's do Genesect here. Ancient Bug, altered by Team Plasma, cannon on its back. This ancient bug. You're saying that implies Kabutops. Okay, so it doesn't say which ancient bug, but hypothetically it was Kabutops? Neat.
So it's interesting because there are quite a few that say like they attached a cannon to its back, but then there's also ones where they say they upgraded the cannon on its back, implying that this bug Pokemon from 300 million years ago had a cannon on its back already.
Genesect's one of those ones where it's like, I don't like sci-fi Pokemon, but I do think Genesect actually is pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's pretty neat. I think it's neat.
Alright, what else we got going on here? Let's grab the next one here. Let's go. Let's do. I brought up Spoink. Let's do Spoink.
Yeah.
Not Spoink. No.
We brought up
not
kangaroos
Spoink,
being the
baby.
Spoink of the Pokemon world, except for the difference
Poinky
is
boy.
kangaroos don't have to deal with the saddest part of the Pokemon deck entry for Spoink. Where does it?
Yeah, no.
Its heart does not pump itself. It has to pounce to pump its heart.
Yeah. No, it's so bad. It's like evolutionarily, this thing should not exist.
More importantly,
Is it
it has to bounce on
sleep?
its sleep. It literally
Yeah,
says it
it's-
keeps bouncing in sleep.
It literally cannot stop. But wait, does that imply it does sleep or that it doesn't sleep?
It sleeps while bouncing.
Oh, it does sleep while bouncing.
It doesn't stop bouncing even while it's asleep. So it first off, it has to sleep standing up, because it's bouncing, which is so sad.
Yo, imagine you're just like a Spoink and you're like hopping around in some forest, and
But yeah-
mid bounce you get stuck in a tree and
No,
you just
no.
fucking die.
Okay.
Somebody
but
just
this
holds
also,
you still, just grabs
This
you.
also implies that like when a Spoink gets knocked out, that it actually does die.
True,
Oh,
true.
no.
Other,
Play a Nuzlocke, man.
the other one is what was I gonna say? Something about Spoink eating. Just imagine it trying to eat. It's just like it's got the bowl in front of it. And it's like and it just tries to keep trying to like time its head into the bowl
know,
as it bounces.
I never used Spoink, so I've never done any of like the Pokemon Ame or whatever, all that stuff with it. Does it? I never thought about like, does it stop or does it eat while it's bouncing?
I don't know.
If it stops, then
Maybe it's got like a little bit of time before its heart stop beating will like stop its brain from functioning, like it could breathe for half a second type thing.
it's possible.
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, 'cause
Um,
humans can also survive for a little bit.
Yeah, no, exactly. The other thing that I was laughing about is like because it's perpetually bouncing, I imagine you can use this thing in like a kinetic energy machine to fuel your house.
You
just-
probably
you
could.
You just have like a pressure pad attached to some pistons, and the Spoinks are just constantly jumping on the pressure pad, and you just convert that to electricity in your house.
It's not even that bad because like these guys need to do that to live anyway.
Exactly.
Just go
Pretty
buy
simple
go buy 100 Pokeballs for like $200, and then just catch 100 Spoinks and just use that to power your place forever.
Yeah,
No
100%.
more electrical bills.
I mean, they bounce when they're asleep. They bounce to power their heart. Like, it doesn't do anything to them. It's actually fairly humane.
That
Yeah.
actually
You don't have to worry about like predators coming in and just like grabbing them.
now that I think about it, like Do they even have electric bills or hydro bills in the Pokemon world? Because there's no reason that they should.
They have power plants. We know that.
Yeah.
It's money. There's money and there's capitalism, which means yes.
Oh
But it's
no.
just like, why would anybody have to get in on that when it's just like, I could just go catch a bunch of Pokemon relatively cheaply and just do this myself?
Yeah, but not like everybody lives near a
Well, I
swamp,
mean,
right?
and that's fair. But we
Or-
also have international trading now.
True.
True.
All right. What did you want to know about Pokemon? Is it the fact that if its tail goes out, it dies? Is that the thing?
I mean, yes, like from an evolutionary standpoint, there's like it just shouldn't exist. Like
There's like
that-
almost no groupings in the world. Goddamn.
yeah, because to be perpetually bouncing, like, implies like a lot of things also have to go right and not wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can we wire plant Pokemons and use them as solar panels? I don't know how easy it is to siphon energy from a plant as much as it is to siphon it from something with kinetic energy, right? Because kinetic energy is super easy. My car does that.
Yeah.
When I ride the brake, it converts that back, right? It's regenerative braking. Is plants as good? Oh, you know what you could do? Get some cargos in there. You can transfer heat into energy.
That's true.
You could literally make a dam
Like-
where to create the steam to move the water back up. You just
You
use
could get-
Macargos.
Macargos, Magmars.
I'm loving this like theoretical electricity solutions we have here.
Yeah.
Any like electric type Pokemon yet either. You know, like this is all just like various other types.
True,
Well,
true.
that's true too. Just throw a freaking Raichu. A house at like average voltage is insanely low
True.
compared to what a Raichu can produce.
Yeah, one Raichu could power like the entire city. Goddamn.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
so Charmander.
Yes.
Another evolutionary failure.
This is another Spoink score.
The question I have here, if it's weak, the flame also burns weakly. The part where it goes like, if the tail, where does it say the tail thing? I remember that being somewhere.
You know, now that I think about it, I don't see anything in the actual Pokedex
Only mentioned
entry.
in the anime, I guess.
I think it might have just been an anime only thing because there's a lot of things that indicate it represents its life force. So if it's doing well, it burns well. If it's weak, then it's a weak.
It's health and mood. Here it is. It is said that Charmander dies if its flame goes out. However, if the Pokemon is healthy, it will continue to burn even if it gets wet. So
say what-
functionally, it's more likely that if you were to get it wet, the only way they would kill it is if it was already like thick and weak, functionally.
But I don't think that's an actual Pokedex entry.
No, it's in the biology section.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
it is said that if its flame goes out, it dies, but its flame can burn through water. So think like a gasoline fire, for example. It's not. The only way it's
Yeah.
going to stop it, the fire is going to get put out, is specifically if it was like already on its way out, which is
Okay.
good because
Fair enough.
Jesus, that's sad. I love
Okay, it's
Charmander.
very sad. Also, that biology section, is that like
I think
official thing, or
I don't know. It's a wiki.
I have a feeling that that's like it's not like an actual Pokédex entry, and they just are like, oh, that's what they said in the anime.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I want to do one of mine here, and then we'll get one of Tyler's.
What
I
about
got-
Grimer? What's up with Grimer?
Well, I got Gumi here first, but I'll get to Grimer. We'll go in order.
Okay.
Make it easier. So the reason I put Gumi on here, very funny that it's like the membrane it's coated in controls how much it can move, sort of like a snail type thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that I thought was funny, oh god, do not play Yu-Gi-Oh based off the anime rules. That's such a bad idea.
It does not work.
So the thing I thought was funny was this. It's covered in a slimy membrane that makes any punches or kicks slide off of it harmlessly.
Mhm.
Gumi's membrane is vibranium.
Yeah, it's true.
Huh. Shit, I never thought about it that way. Goddamn.
Gumi's membrane is vibranium. And I'm just imagining that at, like, the thing about vibranium and even Gumi's membrane is just like, imagine using that for any sort of kinetic absorption. Sound? It's soundproofing. because sound travels on sound waves and would be absorbed that way, right? Because a lot of the times that vibrations through the walls and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You could make soundproof rooms by covering them in a sticky membrane. It'd be gross, but you could do it. What I would do is I'd fill a wall with it, stick it in like a sealed airtight vacuum bag and stick it as a layer in the wall. I think that would work really well for soundproofing.
Yeah.
Or you can just, leave like a 2-foot gap and just stack gummies up to the ceiling in your wall. God.
Oh man. So when you look at its evolution, Sligo, boy, does it take a turn.
Oh yes.
Because now it's like now that sticky liquid can dissolve everything. It also its eyes dissolved away or devolved, so it can't see in this form.
Jesus,
but
that's not how evolution usually works. But I guess if it lives in caves.
Yeah. I guess it just for some reason this middle form is just like, nah, I'm blind, and then it gets its sight back when it evolves into Gudra. But my favorite one here is it has trouble drawing a line between friends and food. It will calmly try to melt and eat even those it gets along well with.
Oh god, it's like a fucking backstabber, Jesus.
Because it's not even doing it on purpose. It's literally just all it thinks about is food, and it's just like, ooh, I could eat this.
I have a very important question. If it can dissolve anything, how does it not dissolve itself? Itself is included in anything. Also, could it dissolve, what level of acidity is that then?
If it can dissolve anything, freaking insane.
Let's see. Highest level of acidity. What do we got? 14, obviously. Or sorry, set 0. So probably 0, obviously. But what does that mean? I wonder what the best comparison is. Would it dissolve diamonds? I guess. Diamonds are included in anything. The use of the word anything feels like it's such a bad idea.
It's so funny because the entry for Ultramoon, its entire body is covered with gooey mucus that can dissolve anything. Be sure to put gloves on if you're going to touch it.
Gloves are included in anything.
What kind of gloves are you using that it is above everything?
Ponyta hoof gloves.
Ponyta hoof gloves.
Instead of being powdered in baby powder, it's just powdered in Ponyta hoof.
Oh god, that's insane.
Jesus Christ. And then obviously Gudra is just the best. I love Gudra. It's so cute.
Gudra is adorable. It's just it went from inambiguously eating anything to being absolutely obsessed with people.
Yeah, it just hugs people and it's like Slimer as a friend.
Get your goof off of me.
Although its punch is the equivalent of the force of 100 pro boxers.
Oh!
Holy shit.
So insane.
What does that even mean?
It's the combination of 100 boxers. Come on.
It kills people. It punches people and they die, is what you're telling me.
Basically, yeah.
There's no way.
I do love it. Loathes solitude and it's extremely clingy. It will fume and run riot if those dearest to it ever leave its side.
Oh,
that's the Arceus entry.
I love Gudra. It's so cute.
It's so cute. It's definitely one of my favorite dragons based on aesthetics and whatnot alone.
Okay, Xatu.
Xatu.
Tell me about this bird.
Tyler?
Wait, Xatu, right. So Xatu's main thing is that it sees into the future with one eye,
right,
and it sees into the past with the other. So
it's
how
weird Odin.
Fuck does that work from an actual viewing standpoint? You know what I mean? How do you even differentiate the two things in your brain? When you're seeing one thing in the last one thing
it's got Alakazam levels of intellect.
Jesus Christ, man.
Because you're very right, because that would be insane to have to deal with. I'm surprised they don't format this as it's more of an insane Pokemon, because that would drive somebody to madness.
I also noticed that it views the sun the entire day, which maybe implies that it's blind to the entire world around it, and it just only sees the future and the past for its shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it literally cannot live in the present.
Yeah. Very weird Pokemon. Very bizarre
Yeah,
Pokemon. I like it.
that's weird. It's like it's interesting. Like that's the kind of thing that would make an amazing like lore for like a mythical creature god of some kind.
Kind of wild. And then after that on my list, I also have Slowking. Slowking's like not that cool, but it's kind of interesting because it feels like if you read Slowking's little description, it honestly feels like it's like a fucking like Marvel hero backstory. It gets bitten by a Shelder, but instead of like normal Slowbro where it gets bitten on the tail, somehow getting bitten in the brain injects like IQ toxins into it.
Yeah,
It just becomes the smartest thing in the world. That's like Einstein level intelligent.
Oh, geez.
Yep. But apparently, if the Shelder comes off its head, it will forget everything it has learned.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it's like brain steroids, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And
this
since we're on
move.
mine, we might as well cover also just like my last one here.
Oh.
Darumaka.
Well, just before we go into that, I love the Ultramoon entry. It's called the Sage of the Sea. It engages in battles of wits with Oranguru, but the result is usually a draw.
They literally just stalemate each other.
That's amazing.
So Oranguru is just not Oranguru.
It's
Darumaka.
Yeah.
Not really that interesting. I will say that it also has like a pretty insane Fahrenheit temperature here. Not insane as Macargo, but
yeah, not that level.
Let me find the Pokedex entry.
I love this one. This is so dumb.
I like this part where
it's poop.
Yeah.
People use this poop to keep themselves warm.
So you know those like little heat things
pockets.
you know those heat things you crack to keep your gloves warm and you stick them in your gloves and it's like that thermal reaction? People are just stuffing their gloves with shit instead.
I know.
In the Pokemon world, they're just like, yeah, sure.
It's like, that's... I guess in desperate times, sure. But that seems like...
Everyone just comes into your house, they just like start pulling off all their winter wear and they're just dripping.
Oh god, no.
They pull off their coat and it just smells like shit.
Just smell absolutely horrendous.
The only theoretical option, these Pokemon are pretty small and weak ones, right? Like the pretty weak Pokemon? Yeah?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, hear me out. If it's a vegetarian Pokemon, its droppings could potentially not have a proper smell. They could be those dry droppings, right? Like deer droppings, where they do pellets and stuff like that, where it might not like it might not be wet and gross like a human's. It could just be like, bloop.
So like maybe you'll buy them without even knowing, right? Like they just sell them as like heat packs. But
yeah, exactly. It's just in a little package, and it's like, yeah, just shake it, and it'll wake it up.
Ridiculous.
That's so weird, though. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, we just went through all of yours. We got Bagon.
Yeah, Bagon's is just like kind of just it's sad, but it's also really dumb that apparently this is just it's evolved this way.
What are we looking at here?
So its whole thing, it has a dream of one day soaring in the sky. In doomed efforts to fly, this Pokemon hurls itself off of cliffs. As a result of its dives, its head has grown tough and its heart is tempered steel.
Oh my god.
It doesn't naturally have that pompadour or that slicked back hair it's got on its head. It's literally
like a bruise.
Evolutionarily, it throws itself off the cliff, breaks its head, and then the resulting like regrowth just builds up.
Hear me out. Hypothetically, it's either that or the ones who jumped off, the ones who survived the smaller and smaller heights as they went higher and higher, were the ones who just had harder and harder heads. So it was just like the ones left over to reproduce were the ones with harder heads, and eventually you just got the ones with the steel plates functionally, right? Because the other ones all killed themselves.
This implies that every Bagon has this instinct and does not start off with the steel head.
No, I think.
No, it's literally just Bagon has this never-ending dream and throws itself off
for sure. I'm just Do we think that it's literally them evolving over like a single instance, or do we think this is a species-wide evolution of Bagons who have just slowly developed steel heads? Right? Like if there's a Husian form of Bagon, it just doesn't have a steel head because it's like 500 years in the past or whatever, right?
Just imagine having you have a Bagon, and you're just like, all right, Bagon, let's go, and you're just like walking along, and it just throws itself off of stuff.
You're playing the new Pokemon game, and at the beginning area where you're getting that little flavor of the Pokemon, Bagon just runs to the cliff and jumps off instead of just
Oh my
staring.
god, that would actually be amazing if you just in the background while you're walking around, you see a Bagon just jump off a cliff.
They just go full lemming. You just watch a swarm of Bagons sprint to a cliffside and jump headfirst off.
Oh my god.
And you just watch them all bump, 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 and you just hear the thudding sound of Bagon steel plates as they all just get up and run and do it again.
Oh yeah, so yeah, apparently it's in Violet. The belief that it will be able to fly one day is apparently the influence of information carried in its genes. So this is genetically engineered into it to do this thing.
That's sad.
It's really sad. It's like, why would you do this, evolution?
I will say, I do love the idea that these are just lemmings who just got harder and harder.
Yeah.
I even like if you look at like Salamance's entries, it literally says like, "Yo, its wings only grew because like it really, really, really wanted wings.
It just needed it."
That's so
like, please.
Which is great because that implies like Pokemon's evolutions were like can be or were dictated by their own desires.
That's so funny. Yeah, long-held dream of growing wings. That's really cool. All right, Blaziken.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what you were wanted to cover on Blaziken. Yeah.
Blaziken can clear a 30-story building in a leap.
Yep.
Yo, that's pretty impressive. But is it Ponyta though?
Well, let's see.
I think that's higher.
The
right?
Eiffel Tower is height 300 meters. That a 30-story building is less than that. You are correct.
Oh, okay.
Because a 30-story building is 300 feet.
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, nope.
But
apparently...
keep in mind, no, you're right. You beat it. I put it in here because I was like, that's wild.
And it's still wild.
True. And also keep in mind, this is bipedal, so you're just like walking around. And you just see like functionally a human clearing over hotels.
It's the equivalent of Superman.
Yeah, no, exactly. Okay, then I've got Pidgeot on here. This one we haven't beat, I don't think. Because Pidgeot can fly at Mach 2.
Holy fuck!
Which...
What does that even mean? Mach 2 is 1,290 miles per hour. Who was it that was the other flying Pokemon that it mentioned that they could fly really quick?
Yeah, it was Skarmory that can fly at 180 to 190 miles per hour.
So this thing flies at twice the speed of sound.
Yeah, no, it's...
I have very important questions here. How does it not just shred into a million pieces? What hardness is this Pokemon that it can survive flying at Mach 2?
Evolution.
Yeah, with no equipment, literally just like...
I guess hypothetically it's that it's just like so perfectly aerodynamic.
I guess, yeah.
But it's also not? It does have like a jetty-ish form though. It's not like the worst.
Yeah, I guess like if it like completely sleeks itself down.
Yeah.
Like I could see that.
The other question is, what do we think of its Mega Evolution? So the only Mega Evolution reference we got here is that Mega Pidgeot can now fly for 2 weeks consistently without resting.
That is nuts.
I'm guessing that probably means about eating too, right? Like, Jesus Christ.
Does that imply it can fly at Mach 2 for 2 weeks straight?
Well, did it carry over that Mach 2 flight speed? Because it seems like a lot of Pokemon kind of lose certain things as well.
Good question.
Okay, how long would it take to circle the world at Mach 2? Okay, so Mach 2.8, it would take 13 hours for the fastest jet. So hypothetically, if Mega Pidgeot is flying at Mach 2, it can probably rotate the world it 14 times in that period in the 2 weeks. It could do a full lap around the planet in less than 24 hours.
That would be insane.
What's the fastest, like, commercial flight? Fastest commercial plane. Pidgeot versus Sonic,
It's
who
specifically
wins?
commercial.
That's a good question. Top speed of 1354. What is Mach 1? That's kilometers. And 54 mph to Mach. 1.76. So, this thing can fly faster than our fastest commercial plane. But
Yep.
it can do that for 2 weeks without stopping. I think Sonic is faster because I think Sonic.
Sonic has some like, insane shit. Yeah, like Sonic has like the kind of flash like world circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sonic's speed is insane.
The fastest is 1,866 miles per hour or per second. And he travels at a natural speed of 767 miles per hour. So yeah, no, Sonic's got it beat. He's just ripping through everything. I don't think anything's as fast as Sonic. I imagine the Flash, because he technically can use the Speed Force to break physics.
Speedsters specifically are all pretty equivalent.
Yeah, they're all nonsense. Okay, Machamp.
Machamp.
Okay, so the reason I put Machamp in here, where was it? Well, first off, it can throw its victim over the horizon. That does imply that the Machamp can make the curvature of the Earth. In distance.
Which
how far is the horizon at sea level? Machamp can throw you 5 kilometers.
Okay. Which, still insane, but not as insane as I was kind of expecting.
Okay, but imagine trying to walk back from that.
I mean, I can walk 5K pretty much. I think that getting thrown 5K, I think that land is going to prevent you from walking anywhere.
You're dead. Yeah, but that's not what it was. Where was it? It was somewhere in here. Oh, here it is. The Machamp can throw it 1,000 punches in just 2 seconds.
One second.
That's 500 punches per second. We divide that per arm.
Shit.
He's throwing out 125 punches per arm per second.
So is the DBZ character.
That's beyond even DBC,
That's
man.
faster than our eyes can perceive.
Yep.
Because what?
That
A
really
human
is.
eye is what? 30 frames per second, technically?
Yeah.
What
Yo, that's not what game
frame rate is the...
Machamp should just be the strongest. Given
30 to
that.
60 frames per second is how the eye works. And we established that Machamp was throwing out 1,000 over 125 punches per second. So physically, we would catch 2, maybe 2 of the punches. We would see 2 of them, but there would be 125 of them probably in there. That would be insane.
Yeah, like literally impossible for him to move that fast.
Imagine trying to dodge that.
I mean, no, there is no dodging that.
You would die.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like the only thing that could be said is like, yeah, he can throw out those punches, but they might not actually hit because he's just throwing punches without like
flailing.
actual aim. Yeah, exactly.
One arm alone can move mountains.
Oh my god. Which is just like, okay, so it's strong enough to move a mountain, it's strong enough to throw a person 5K, and it can punch that fast. Literally nothing should be able to beat that.
No, it would, in 2 seconds, it would pulverize you.
Yeah.
Into mush.
And like, that's the Pokemon that makes the psychic weakness make sense, because that's the only thing that could just like damage it and not have to worry about getting close, save like any like
I
physical.
love the
long
idea that
distance
Machamp
attacks.
is just picking up boulders, and the fact that he can throw the like the horizon, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, 'cause what was it, 5 kilometers? Is that something that it was? Something like that?
yeah. 5 kilometers.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
much it.
he's throwing out this boulder 5 feet instead at you. And he
Yeah,
just
it's just-
destroys you. All right, Grimer. The thing that was funny
I was
about
wondering about this one.
so it's Stadium's entry where it talks about how sludge that was transformed by the moon's X-rays is what became Grimer. I want you to
Wait,
know
hold on.
that the moon does not produce a lot of X-rays. There's technically some, but we produce more X-rays through like everything else. A Machamp punching near this produces more X-rays than the moon.
This is some real conspiracy theory sound
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
right?
Like the moon's X-rays are gonna turn us all into toxic sludge, dude.
Everyone
It's
just
so-
wear like everyone has to put their sludge in aluminum foil so it doesn't become a muck.
Now, what would this imply? Like, okay, Pokemon has tried to establish that it's like on a planet like ours, but if there was enough X-rays from the moon to somehow transform Grimer, what does that imply about the Pokemon's universe that it does that, or the moon in the Pokemon universe?
Would it mean that it's like closer? I guess I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to think. Is like, what exactly would have to change about the moon? Like, is it just because there's like Pokemon? Is the moon a giant Pokemon that gives off X-rays? And also, why does it not affect everything else in some way? Or maybe that's why the Pokemon world is what it is.
That'd be
Honestly,
very
the moon ending up just like one giant Pokemon that you have to fight as like a post-game boss battle. I could see that being the case.
Just
for, like,
becomes
Generation
Majora's Mask.
15.
slow. It's just a jerk moon.
That's the Pokemon games our kids will be playing, right? It's like, yo, my Sceptile is out here fighting the moon.
Get to the moon, and you throw a Master Ball, and now you have the moon in a Master Ball, and the moon's just gone. There's no
And
moon
you
for
just watch
planet
all the
anymore.
tidal currents in the world get destroyed. Cities are flooding.
The world
Everyone's
is just
dying.
fucked. Oh
Alright,
god.
So I've got Gardevoir in here. Let me remember why.
Oh yeah, Gardevoir was
Oh, small black
black
hole.
holes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
exactly.
Fun fact: I don't think black holes work that way.
I don't think so.
I
No.
don't think you can really put a black hole away. Right? Can you close a black hole? How to
Doesn't
get rid of a black hole?
It's hilarious because it doesn't even say that it closes the black hole. It just says it makes them.
So
Like, so just like make a black hole and then just bounces like.
So
let's see
the
your answer.
Pokemon universe could actually just be like doomed at this point because there's Gardevoirs creating small black holes all over the place.
the black holes just go away over time. But the idea that this thing is just like, and it's just making a portable hole in a bag of holding near
Okay.
people all the time to kill them, I'm like,
Okay.
what the dicks?
That's
How can
actually,
you even do anything against that? Just like pops up in front of you and just black.
yeah,
holes
why
you
isn't
in the
that a move?
The funniest thing is, this isn't like it's an old article where they're like, oh, that was kind of dumb to put it in there. It's carried through. It's in the latest game.
It's in
Yeah.
like it's in Shield.
It's in Scarlet and
It's one of-
Violet.
On one of those notes, like
Oh
it
yeah.
seems like there's a lot of stuff throughout these entries where it's like there's like a category of stuff that's like from Stadium specifically.
Yeah,
like,
where
Stadium has had like at least 5 of like the whack Pokedex entries.
for
that
sure.
never
Where I'm
carried.
just like, okay, fine. We'll just assume that someone who was making Stadium didn't think it through at all. That's why that never carried through. Like they tidied it up, right? And then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Had the intern do it.
the new stuff's just like JK nerd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, it has the power to predict the future. Another Pokemon with that ability.
So I wanted to just put this in there just because I wanted to discuss just how big and insane Whale Lord is. It weighs 900 pounds and is
Yeah.
50 feet.
Yeah,
height.
900 pounds at 50 feet.
It can dive 10,000 feet deep in one breath. Like, absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Although I do love seeing Whale Lord in things like the Pokemon games
Oh,
where they do
yeah.
try and like show off its scale at least a little bit. It's so funny.
It is ridiculous.
I would love to see Whale Lord in the new Pokemon game into like a DLC where it's literally just like the size of the ocean.
I actually, because I haven't looked up anything, can you connect to the Pokebank or whatever with?
I don't think you can move Pokemon in that aren't part of the game yet. It doesn't have the proper national dex.
Okay, right.
None of all three Pokemon 3D games have the true national dex in them.
Okay, right.
It was in Sword and Shield though.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna do this. Whale Lord, Pokemon, Sword. Let's see. Images.
So big.
Oh,
It's a whale. It's a literal whale.
there
That
you
it can
go.
also fly, apparently.
Yeah, and then in battle, it's just like this dude's just like standing in front of.
Yeah, that looks silly there, but I do like it in the Gigantamax raid. That feels appropriate. Oh my god.
It's just impossibly big.
Hanging out.
Hello. Hello, Whale Lord. And then it shrinks.
You could just.
Okay.
Oh man.
But yeah, no. Look at this. This is so good.
Like, it's
I love it.
so much fun.
And then there's this article I found as well, which I thought was pretty much perfect for what we were talking about, which is it sort of goes over the Pokemon physics things. We've got most of them already. But if anyone wants to know where I was sort of finding my personal list here, just props to these guys. The BBS magazine here.
Nice.
They had this list of physics to breaking Pokemon. There's one where Doudrille can't it cannot fly, but it can learn flies. So the implication is that
Yeah,
just fossil copters its heads.
Yeah, that's what I remember hearing that ages ago. It's so good.
And then Garchomp wants to fly and it has wings, but it cannot actually learn fly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Do you guys have any other Pokemon there?
I mean, I've got like other ones that were like interesting, or just like the spooky ones, like Beware, Sandygast. I mean, everyone knows Drifloons. Drifloons is like the spookiest one.
Reddit. What's a thing that doesn't make sense? Freshwater, being able to use on a fire type. They're magic.
Drinks it, right? Like
You can fly on a Pidgey. Fair.
true.
It's a real strong bird.
All Nursejoy related.
I do love like Beware's is hilarious, but also like sad. This Pokemon has the habit of hugging its companions. Many trainers have left this world after their spines were squished by its hugs.
Oh no.
Shit.
God,
It's just this incredibly affectionate Pokemon that just keeps killing its trainers.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
It's so sad. Don't want to be a Bearware.
Cubone?
Kangaskhan hatching from an egg and already having a little Kangaskhan in its pouch. That's kind of interesting. Which means it implies that like little Kangaskhan isn't actually like its own.
Yeah, I don't think it's a little Kangaskhan.
It's not a baby, it's a symbiote.
Yeah, exactly. It's two parts of the same entity. It's its inbred twin. Or its ingrown twin.
Yeah, inbred is a very different thing.
I mean,
Which
it could
you do
be.
a lot of in Pokemon.
True. Whale Lord is the field egg group. Interesting. Illumise and Nidoran female can breed for Volbeat and Nidoran male eggs, respectively, but they cannot reverse that. I don't care about Pokemon breeding. Don't think about it too much. It's very silly.
Oh yeah, that's a oof. Speaking of science problems,
You cannot catch Pokemon that are unconscious.
How weird, yeah.
huh? I mean, yeah, that is. Oh man, Sandygast. That's another fun one.
Sandygast.
Yes. So, born from a sand mound, playfully built by a child, this Pokemon embodies the grudges of the departed.
That's so dark.
The grudges of the dead have possessed a mound of sand that became a Pokemon.
Jesus.
It also mainly inhabits the beach. It takes control of anyone who puts their hand into its mouth, forcing them to make its body bigger.
Oh no.
Shit.
It just
Is that how
like
it evolves?
leeches.
Oh,
It turns you into, it's like a chest burster or a face
Yeah.
hugger. It just puppets you to make itself stronger.
Yeah. Oh,
Possessed people
man.
controlled by this Pokemon transformed its sand mound into a castle. As it evolved, its power to curse grew even stronger.
Yeah.
Buried
Oh my-
beneath the castle are masses of dried up bones from the people whose vitality it has drained.
Holy fuck.
Each grain of sand has its own will. It eats small Pokemon and siphons away their vital essence while they're still alive.
Yeah, that is probably one of the worst.
Jesus H. Christ. Also,
Yes.
the fact that it kills you by functionally being like a sinkhole.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Don't fuck with Sandy Gas or its evolved form, man.
From the hollows in its arms, it fires the bones of its victims. Oh, ghost types are mortifying.
God.
That actually might be one of the worst.
I just, like, being buried alive is such a bad way to go.
It really is.
Just imagine
yeah.
being buried alive as you suffocate, it drains you.
Oh god. Oh, this isn't right. Okay, another one I was looking at was like also spooky. So Cacturn. Where was it? There's a specific one because there's like other ones that talk about like, oh, it seeks praise that's exhausted from the day's desert heat. It's like, yeah, that's whatever. Oh, this one. Packs of them follow travelers through the desert until the travelers can no longer move.
Oh no, it just watches you. It's just like, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah,
Die.
exactly. And it's like it's not just anything, travelers.
Yeah, so it kind of applies humans.
Yeah, exactly.
They're literally just following you around, waiting for one of you to drop dead so that it can kill you, so that it can just like eat you.
Eat you.
That's so messed up.
Yep.
Wild.
Nickit and Thievul are so cute.
Oh yeah, adorable.
I'm just looking at the pure dark type. I wonder if Umbreon has some super edgy entry here.
Huh? I actually don't know.
It sprays poison from its pores. It's not a poison type, but it sprays poison from its pores.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff to do with the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Glowing moon, glowing. Ooh. With its black fur, it blends into darkness. It bides its time, and when prey appears, the Pokemon goes for the throat and eats it.
Nice.
That's
Go
a
on,
little
Brian.
aggressive.
I mean, it's still a wild animal. If it's got to hunt, it's got to hunt.
Yeah, no, you're right. Just that real.
What happens to my kid
It's-
will eat, you know?
I mean, it's like it's considering like what people's views on like Eevee and its evolutions are. Like that's super spooky to kind of think about, but it's also just like that's probably the most tame
No,
out of anything.
it's a violent description to me.
It is a very violent description, but I just like, oh, it's a wolf.
How do you feel about the fact that Houndoom, its flames, when they burn you, cause you to feel that pain forever?
That's
No.
horrendous.
Yeah.
Oh, like, that's.
Yeah.
That's
If it doesn't kill you, it makes your life a living hell.
Yeah,
So you might as well be dead at that point.
Yeah,
I-
exactly.
I cannot imagine the amount of people who have taken alternative means after encountering a Houndoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to imagine that you
Holy
would just
shit.
give up at that point.
Jesus H. Christ, that's so... Pokemon's real edgy sometimes for a kid's game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I really appreciate how some of them just go all out with that stuff. Like, oh boy.
We obviously know Absol has that like whole sad thing about being like, everyone thinks it's evil, because it just sort of happens to hang out when shit's going down.
Yeah. Or oh god, I love that Pokemon so much. It's just got such a bad rap.
I like that Leopard just sneaks up you from behind and then strikes you and you have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, they run completely silent at night. No sound of footsteps can be heard from them.
Which is, you know what? Yeah,
That's a little scary.
predator cat.
Yeah. A little
I
scary.
mean, we have that problem with friggin' cougars most of the time.
Let's see. Zoroark, mostly just memes on people.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Nothing too crazy there. Evil's a thief. We got the new boys in there, but I'm not going to look at those. Skip that.
Oh,
Ooh, Mega Houndoom. Ooh, what was it? What did it say?
Oh
in there?
yeah, I wonder what that's got.
Here we go. Its red claws and the tips of its tail are melting from high internal temperatures that are painful to Houndoom. Ah!
Nah,
It's just constantly in pain.
poor guy.
That's so upsetting.
God, why? Some Pokemon's lives are just so bad. I feel so bad for them.
100%. Okay. Galarian Linoon.
What's up with that one?
Nothing crazy.
It's really a long tongue. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
That
nothing
one
too
really
crazy.
has
That's okay. Anything
What
interesting?
about show me Weavile after that too.
Sure, yeah. We're just looking at that dark type because we know they're going to be sad and edgy. Then we'll probably call it in a minute here. We'll get these last two in here. Dark Caves, Fish Up Gems.
He makes
Big-
us steal souls and shit.
Yeah.
I guess.
Let's see Weavile here. Let's see if there's anything real cool here. Alright. It communicates by clawing signs into boulders. That's pretty cool. They bring down their prey with coordinated attacks.
Okay. Apparently, the main food source is Vulpix
Mammoth
and
Swain, too.
Sandshrew.
Oh,
Mammoth Swine. Oh, that's kind of like an interesting reference to how like humans hunted down mammoths together and shit. That's
Yeah.
kinda
I like how Mammoth Swine carried forward as a regular Pokemon, but then we've got these primeval Pokemon that are overtly supposed to be Pokemon that were like hunted out to extinction or whatever.
yeah.
So I'm just laughing at that.
Sure must have something cool.
Bishop just is a dad.
He's a dad?
This Pokemon commands a group of several Pawniard. Groups that are defeated in the territory disputes are absorbed by the winning side.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I guess
Yeah.
not.
I mean, it mercilessly cuts
big
opponents
boss.
to pieces. He'll do anything to win.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. Not
He's a
really.
nice guy who will slice you the hell
Yeah.
up.
You know, I'm sure he's good inside.
They also
Yes,
immediately
I-
step down if the blade on their head is chipped.
God damn.
Interesting hierarchy.
Yo, isn't Malamar supposed to be like pretty fucking evil?
Let me look. Hydreigon. Only the central head has a brain. That's silly.
Yeah.
People loathed it, so now it's Angie.
Like
Malamar. It said that Malamar's hypnotic powers played a role in certain history-changing events. Ooh.
Holy shit. Okay.
That's a fun
There's an-
idea.
There's an endless amount of people who utilize Malamar for their nefarious deeds.
Oh,
'cause it's
no.
able to utilize anybody.
Damn,
People-
I
Basically
needed
just like
more
the
of
mind
those.
control.
People are doing
Line,
pokey
yeah.
crimes.
God damn.
That's so sad.
I mean, we've known there's people doing poke crimes. That was Rocket's whole deal.
True, obviously. All right,
They just
last
were
one.
really, really bad at it.
Grim Snarl.
Grim Snarl.
There's no way this isn't
It's-
something silly. The hair wrapped around its muscles help to enhance its muscles. Cool. It can overwhelm
Leg
even
kick.
Machamp. Nice.
Oh,
Muscles-
shit.
Its hair works like muscle fibers. When its hair is unfertile, they latch on opponents and staring them as if tentacles would.
Wow.
Gigantamax. By transforming its leg hair, this Pokemon delivers power-packed drill kicks that bore huge holes in Galar's terrain. Gigantamax
Holy
energy has
shit.
caused the hair to spread all over its body. With the added strength, it can jump over the world's tallest buildings.
Yo, Ponyta finally beat. Holy shit.
True. Normally
Yeah,
keeps
it
its hair
finally
wrapped
happened.
God, it's such a silly looking Pokemon because it's literally just Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I didn't think
It's
of that.
Bayonetta. Bayonetta went for Swole. And then this little fucking gremlin. Look at this little shithead. Looks like a little jerk.
I know he does. He
I
does look like
love-
he'd be a jerk, but I love him.
When it
I
gets,
love that entire line.
oh my god, how dare you! It gets out on all four. It does false surrenders. It commits war crimes on the regular.
Holy shit.
Heinous.
Amazing. So much fun.
Apparently
Ah.
it's popular with depressed people, goddamn.
With that, we are done.
That was
You
pretty
had-
fun.
Yeah,
Shit.
we're at for an hour 20.
Oh yeah, super fun.
We got to talk physics Pokemon. Next week, how do you guys feel about doing another Kickstarter one? I can find a bunch of cool tabletop RPG stuff from the past and some current
Yeah.
ones and stuff like that.
That
Yeah, if
sounds
you
good to
wanna
me. Oh yeah.
Spread the word about any ones that you like in particular.
Awesome.